We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the newest Miami Dolphins running back, Devon Achane. They spent a third-round pick on him. He's a running back out of Texas A&M. And if you saw my video on him that I did a couple months ago before it got blocked, the All-22 one, you know that I was a huge fan of Achane, especially going to the Dolphins. Like, he was one of my favorite fits. He's one of my favorite players in this draft class, and they get him, like, he's such a talented player. Like, everyone will talk about the speed, and his speed is super impressive. The burst acceleration, he's got that track star speed. But his footwork, foot quickness, lateral agility, the ability to set things up, make people miss out in space, is very impressive. And people will talk about his size, being undersized. He's not going to be a workhorse. I think in the Dolphins offense, you don't need to be a nice role at the NFL level. I'm not too worried about the size thing. Plus, when it does come to size, when it comes to those types of players, it's like, can they stay healthy, which I think he can, and how does he like play with his size? I think Achane plays bigger than his size. He bounces off tackles. He's got a strong lower half, only weighing like 180 something, but he definitely plays bigger than his size, which I think is very important. Like when Devontae Smith came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's too small as a receiver. He can't handle it. He's very skinny." But you watched him; he played way bigger than his size, and he's handled it really well at the NFL level. I don't think Achane's some outlier. There's been players like him before. You can see him just bounce off tackles, lower half. He's got that contact balance, and then his footwork. Like usually when it comes to speed, guys, like you're just thinking straight line. You just hear people talk about speed. Speed can be a bit overrated. Like he has that burst, but he has those feet to chain those moves together very well, make people miss, like set up these moves, which is more important as a running back. And that's why I think he can run inside the tackles. Like, I'm a huge fan of the player. I think he's very scheme versatile, fits exactly what the Dolphins are looking for, and then obviously adds another guy to the team that can score anytime he touches the ball. We'll start with this play from Achane versus LSU. I think it's the same play I started with first last time, and this is just him getting creative, and you can just see the power he plays with contact balance. He always keeps his feet beneath him, and we'll just start here initially, working on this zone run. He just reads the initial penetration from this D-line. He's already like getting ready to make this move, open up those hips, get to the outside, make this guy miss, run through an arm tackle. He does a really good job of switching up. This is one thing I really noticed. Like, look at his arm here. He's got the ball in his right hand here initially once he makes this guy miss, and then switches to his left hand, going to the left side of the field. So he does that well. So he has that offhand, and then he braces for contact well, drops the shoulder. He just wants to get this first down, 3rd and 3. So he starts running through people, and now he's just getting those extra yards. Plays way bigger than his size. And then obviously that athleticism you're going to see on display on some plays in the future, because his burst, acceleration to long speed, after combining some nice cuts to it to transition upfield, is real like the best in this class. Amazing footwork and vision here from Achane. I would say as a running back, he's pretty savvy, pretty advanced. Like, I wouldn't say it's like top tier, but combined with his athleticism, it's definitely enough here on some outside zone. Just reading the leverage of his blocks, the flow of the defense. He's running this with patience, attacking the outside, and now once he sees this open up, he sees this lane, get back to the inside, and then just look at this footwork combined with this to cut this back to the outside, get back on track. It is easier to see from the other angle, but from here you just gotta, try to, work through the broadcast view, but he really combines this well. His transitions of the field, short choppy steps, get upfield, work off the back of your blocks, the vision, and now anticipate this opening back up to the outside, getting back on track. You can see him stick that foot in the ground. He's anticipating, like, just reading this defender, going back to the inside, working over the top, and now, boom, straight in between the hole, and then drops his shoulder to get into the end zone, stays on his feet, too, like, so you can see the power and balance that he plays with. Love the footwork, love everything that he did on that play. One of my favorite plays that he puts on tape. This is just amazing ability to string your moves together. Look how light he is on his feet. Every step is just explosive, changing direction. Instantly recognizes the penetration, gets upfield. He transitions upfield out of gun right here, instantly gets upfield, makes another guy miss in the hole, bounces this to the outside, then cuts again, cuts back to the inside, back to the outside. Like, his footwork here is so smooth. There's no wasted movement. It's so fluid. And when you have this level of fluidity with the speed he has, like, usually when it comes to athletes, like, they're either got like straight line speed, or they're like maybe on the slower side, but very, very smooth, change direction, flexible. But he's got it all when it comes to athleticism. And like, this is just an absolutely like masterclass of footwork when it comes to being a running back. You don't see this level of efficiency very often. Like, everything is just like butter right there. Smooth. Love it. One of my favorite plays that Achane made all last season. Here's some Achane on some outside zone, which he will do a lot of at the next level. He really does a good job of setting this up out in space. He has the speed to capture the edge, obviously. Once he sees number 40, who's like the edge defender, shoot to the inside. He knows he can just instantly capture the outside. He has the speed here. And now he's basically one-on-one with this DB right here. So look how he angles this. He attacks outside leverage. He's setting this up. He knows that he wants to cut this back to the inside. So he attacks outside just enough. And now once he reads the angle and leverage of this defender, he just cuts to the inside. Makes this transition upfield. Doesn't even really slow down much. Accelerates the end zone. Really impressive play from Achane. He can make people miss in space. He can also make them miss in tighter spaces as well with his footwork, efficient movement. Everything's just very clean with him. And then he has those hips too, which is very fluid. It makes him very tough to get a clean hit on, which he just has like all those athletic traits that you look for. And then he has some nice technical savvy skills with the feet. Really, really like watching him go to work. Good vision here from Achane, finding the hole, and then really good job running through contact. He really knows how to use that offhand, and you can just see the power as well. So initial vision to find this hole, and then he, gets that ball in the correct hand, uses, he changes up his angle right here, sees these two defenders, just gets really horizontal to make him miss, and he makes him miss very quickly just by getting horizontal instantly, and then gets upfield vertically, runs through the arm tackle, then uses the stiff arm to make the next guy miss, which allows him to get to the outside of the next one, and then footwork too. He gets physical, uses the stiff arm, makes someone miss, stiff arms another guy, and then he's already, get his eyes upfield to the next. This is just pure instincts, pure natural feel, and boom, quick feet. Look at the 2 feet right there, gets upfield instantly, transition, even runs to another guy, and he still runs this guy over, boom, to the ground. Just so many extra yards added to the play. That's why I'm not worried about his size. If you're, making multiple people miss, stiff arming people, running through some arm tackles, and then also, throwing some DB off of you like it's nothing, really, really high level stuff there from Achane. Here we got Achane scoring a touchdown. He can work on some gap scheme runs. He's got the patience. I actually kind of like him. I think he's more advanced on gap scheme runs currently. Zone, I feel like he's still working on his pressing, cutting, working on leverage at time. But when it comes to working off the back of pulling guards, tight ends going through the hole, he gets very patient. He understands how to work off the back of his blocks. Look how he stays square here, active feet, and now you're just following on this, letting this develop, and he does. Gets through this hole and now just runs to space, and you can see the power run through that arm tackle, get into the end zone. I think he's not the most powerful guy ever, but he can definitely bounce off those tackles, especially versus DBs, which for a guy of his size and people being 1 yards after the catch. So we'll watch this a little more slowly. It's tough to see from this angle, obviously, but they got the pulling guard. He's probably supposed to work to this side on a counter, but he sees that things kind of get blocked up in here. He doesn't see this, so he gets creative, cuts this back to the other angle, and then look how he angles his hips to get away from this defender. Has this speed. He gets completely horizontal and gets around him like it's nothing, and then instantly gets back upfield, gets vertical, and he gets this little hesitation to freeze this DB while he's getting blocked, and then boom, once he starts to actually go, he's gone. That burst is so special. Just look at the positioning of 10. 10 probably could have had a chance to get to him. Look at 15. 15 should easily be able to get him out around this spot, but he gets upfield and picks up an extra, almost 10-ish yards than he should, just based off that pure acceleration. And that is special stuff. Really nice footwork, really good job making people miss inside the hole. This is when things aren't, perfect for you. He doesn't always, behind the Texas A&M line, it wasn't always perfect. He had some big holes at times, but here on this gap scheme run, working on some power. He meets the guy in a hole. He's being patient, allowing this to set up. It's very constricted, but this D-line right here is one-on-one with him in the hole, no one blocking him, and he just gives a slight little hesitation, move to the inside, loose hips, makes this guy miss. Also use that off arm to, keep himself clean here, and then gets to the outside, has that burst, transitions back upfield to make another guy miss at the next level of DB, which just maximizes his yards. So even when things aren't blocked up perfectly, he has the creativity, the athleticism, enough physicality, balance, and toughness to get through those and maximize those yardage, because things aren't always going to be perfectly blocked up. And I just love his fit in this offense. I think, honestly, him and Mostert kind of do have a similar skill set, but he's also way younger than Mostert and still more explosive, what Mostert sort of used to be. And I like his, he's more savvy, especially at his age. And I just think the Dolphins, with this, I'm not worried about their running back room at all anymore. O-line and tight end are kind of the biggest worries at this point. But, tight end will be fine. It's not, a huge part of, they have exactly what they need the tight ends to do. O-line is definitely the biggest worry. But I think as run blocking, I'm not worried about the O-line, more of the pass blocking. Pretty solid play here from Achane on the zone run. vision, find the hole, no wasted movement. He's very decisive here. Burst through this, like you can just look at him, read the leverage of this blocks. He presses up into this press and then cut. And now once he sees 15 commit to the inside, he gets the outside and then just bursts through. Look how he quickly eats up this space. 7 thinks he's going to, tackle him around here, and he just bursts to the inside just enough, dips those shoulders. 7 doesn't tackle him until, he's almost 20 yards down the field. Really good stuff there from Devon Achane. Let's play then a breakdown for Devon Achane. Another play where he's just getting thrown the ball on a swing route, and he just makes another person miss in space. Just an area where I'm comfortable with him right now as a receiver is definitely out of the backfield, swing routes, things like that. He catches the ball. Usually he can catch it with his hands. Sometimes he'll catch it with his body. I've seen him have some drops from time to time, but usually they were more difficult catches. Like, he's not like a top tier hands type of receiver, but I mean, he's not going to have as many drops as we saw last year from the running back position. But instantly out in space, this is where he's just so valuable. Like, we've seen him, like, he can work between the tackles. I don't care about his size. Like, he can work between the tackles. We've seen the nuanced, savvy play style. He's technical. He's got the footwork for it. He plays bigger than his size. But you get him out in space, like, he doesn't even need to make them miss like crazy with elusiveness. If he gets just enough, like, they don't get a perfect angle on him, a perfect tackle, like, his speed makes him his speed, burst, and hip fluidity, foot quickness, lateral agility, make it so tough to get like a clean hit on him. And then he has enough power in the lower half to just run through arm tackles, get to the end zone. Really impressive work from Devon Achane. I'm such a huge fan of his game. Like, he has so many impressive plays on tape. Like, there's the big touchdowns that wow you, but there's also these plays where he's just consistently grinding out the ones that you'll see mostly at the next level, where it's just like a nice little 10 to 15 yard play. You're not going to see, the 80-yard touchdowns all the time. Like, Devon Achane will have some of those crazy ones, but just the ones where he gets like a one-on-one, like, that really translate to the next level. Devon Achane has that for sure. I really like his fit in this Dolphins offense. Mike McDaniel loves him. I love him. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.